Part 2 of Chapter 3. How do you know where to go when you are in an unfamiliar city? Before you can chart your course on a map, you must identify your starting point. Same is true for your personal finances. You need an accurate picture of your current personal and financial situation. Only then can you plan effectively. A person with low debts and lots of assets will make a different decision about spending and saving than a person with lots of debts and no assets. People also make different decisions at age 15 and at age 50. Because financial goals are tied to your income, they are also tied to your level of education and career choice. Simply put, having a good solid income allows you to set more loftier goals. What roads do you have to take to get to your final financial destination? Remember, you need an accurate picture of your current personal and financial situation. Your decisions on how much money to spend or save depends on your current situation. Financial goals are tied to your income, and the better income equals the ability to set larger goals. For this reason, Alicia is right to be concerned about Tiffany's plans to delay college. This decision might be right for some people at some times. It may even allow these two young women to reach their short-term goals and even some intermediate goals more quickly. But Alicia is correct to consider the impact of this decision on her long-term financial well-being. Now let's take a look at the next leg of our journey. You need to know where you are and where you want to be, but you'll also need to know what roads to take to get there. In Alicia's case, she can map her current financial condition and what she hopes to achieve. Then she can begin to figure out how much or how she might reach the goal by making accurate forecasts. A forecast is a projection about what will happen in the future. For businesses and personal finance, forecasts typically involve making projections about cash flow. Money you have coming in is inflow and going out, outflow. Obviously, when evaluating our financial position, it is helpful to make projections about the future. For some individuals, cash inflow is referred to as income. You can get income from external sources such as a job, allowances from your parents, scholarships. You can also get income from saving and investments. For example, interest earned on savings account. Most people have cash outflows to consider. We refer to these as expenses. An expense is anything in which we spend money on. Examples include a phone bill and car payments. Some expenses you have to pay every month, and they are called, and that's what they're, sorry about this. Some expenses you have to pay every month. These are called your fixed expenses. For example, rent of $600 a month would be a fixed expense. Fixed expenses, by definition, remain the same from period to period, such as your car payments, your phone bill, internet service, medical insurance, rent. Variable expenses, on the other side, are expenses that change from one period to the other. Your phone bill, for example, could be a variable expense too, if you pay per call. Each bill differs depending on how many minutes you use in the billing period. Variable expenses could be utility bills because you use different types of or different amounts of water, electricity every month. Food, medical bills could vary from month to month. Gasoline, the amount that you put in your car and so forth. And your entertainment. Some months you go out, some you do not. If you just take a look at this, think about Alicia. She already makes $300 a month waiting tables. And you can see this, $300 a month waiting tables. That is $3,600 a year. She wants to forecast the impact of an increase in the number of Friday and Saturday nights she works, assuming $80 in tips for each night worked. So if you get $80 a night for 104 nights, that would be an extra $8,320. This forecast can help Alicia determine how much spending money she will have for the year. She can forecast a cash inflow of $11,920 when you add those two together. However, waiting tables is not cost-free to Alicia because she must make some cash outflows occasionally to do her job. These outflows are her expenses. Alicia's expenses include the purchase of her uniform for work, the cost of getting them dry cleaned. The difference between her cash inflow, income from waiting tables, and her cash outflow, job expenses, is her profit. You can also see some additional expenses that show up. And when you start adding them up, you can see that her total cash outflow is more than the inflow. So she might have a few issues with this forecast. Let's do math for personal finance problem number 1. Dewano needs to save $1,500 by August to pay for her tuition. She only has 12 weeks remaining before school starts, and her boss is letting her work 20 hours per week. She brings home about $9 an hour after taxes are withdrawn from her check. Is it possible for her to save the $1,500? Okay. So to do this problem, the solution is you get $9 an hour times 20 hours times 12 weeks. And over that period of time, she can earn $2,160. So it is possible for her to save $1,500 if she doesn't have any other huge expenses that go along with it. Step 3, identify and evaluate options for accomplishing your goals. There are several ways to achieve your financial goals. There are multiple paths to reach the same destination. You need to determine the best decision to make it in the long run. Again, there may be multiple roads to reach the same destination. We might all have the same destination, but we're all going to take different roads. Alicia realizes this. Her goal is to move out of her parents' house while she's attending college. That is, she wants to create a budget in which she can afford the rent and additional expenses. Towards this end, she's considering adding hours to her work schedule. She's also thinking about taking out a loan to help pay for college expenses. She has discussed the idea of having a roommate so that renting an apartment would be less costly. She has even considered the possibility of postponing college to pursue full-time work. Alicia could consider other options. For example, she might seek some financial aid to help lower the cost of her parents. She might consider getting education at a less costly school, like a community college. So she has identified several options which might enable her to achieve her goal. Option 1, move into an apartment. She realizes this will be possible if she has at least 2 roommates and works more than just weekends and takes out college loans. Option 2, continue to live at home with her parents while going to college. And option 3, working full-time and postponing college. So those are some options that she has evaluated. 2 of these plans have potential to help Alicia reach her goal of moving out of the house after graduation. Of course, each option has its drawbacks and shortcomings. And you can see there are pros, more freedom, but it's more expensive. A pro would be for option 2, this cheapest alternative while in college is living at home. But a con is less freedom to make your own decision. And your third option, working full-time and postponing college, you would have more freedom to make your own decision, but the con is you postpone your education. Math problem 2. Jared anticipates working 10 hours a week during a 34-week school year. He will work 40 hours a week the remaining 18 weeks when school is out. Assuming he makes $8 an hour, what is his forecast for income in the next year? So first of all, we're going to figure out how many hours that he's actually going to work for the whole year. So the first situation is 34 weeks. While he's in school, he'll work 10 hours per week. So during school, he will work 340 hours. During the summer, when he's not in school, he's going to work 40 hours a week times 18 weeks, and he'll work 720 hours. So as a total, his hours worked is 340 plus 720, and he comes up with 1,060 hours that he will be working. You take that times $8 an hour, and his forecasted income will be $8,480. Step 4, pick the best plan. After you develop multiple ways of achieving a goal, you need to decide which option is most realistic and works for you. Two people who seem to have identical situations may still opt for two different plans. Your tolerance for risk and your self-discipline often determines which plan is the best option for achieving specific goals. A risk is the likelihood of loss. Think about different tolerances of risks in terms of a football game. Your school may be playing last year's state champion in the opening game. Some of your teammates are dreading the game because they know the chance that they will lose is very high. These players have low risk tolerance. However, some other team members are welcoming the challenge. They are excited about the game because even though risk is high, the potential reward is huge. They realize that if they're able to beat the state champs, they'll achieve a lot of recognition. Neither of these two attitudes is right or wrong. Each indicates risk tolerance. So some people choose plans with higher risk of loss. These plans often have higher potential for playoff. Others choose plan with lower risk and a greater likelihood of accomplishing the ultimate goal. Step 5, periodically evaluate your plan. After picking a plan, you must monitor your progress to keep your plan from faltering or getting off track. Unless you're monitoring your progress towards your goals, you may not notice problems and you don't make any needed adjustments. Let's say Alicia has opted to work 6 Fridays and Saturday nights each month to earn money to fund her budget and pay the rent on her apartment. After several weeks of doing this, she notices that she does not make $80 every night. In fact, the average amount she makes for weekend shifts are closer to $60. Alicia needs to reconsider her forecasts and reconsider whether her goals are feasible. She may need to make adjustments in her plan to make it work. So again, monitor your progress. Sometimes plans get off track, and monitoring will help you notice if there are problems or if you should make adjustments. What happens when you determine your plan is unachievable or too restrictive? You need to revise it. But remember, any revision to one part of your financial plan may impact other aspects of your plan. You should periodically review your plan and revise as necessary. Remember, your financial plan is a living document that changes as your situations change. Okay, let's take a look at math problem number 3. Lisa original financial plan required that she save $100 a month for 2 years in order to have $2,400 for the down payment on a car. However, after 1 year, she's only managed to save $1,000. What will Lisa need to do in order to accomplish her original goal? Okay, so she needs to save another $1,400. If you look at that originally, okay, she wants to save $2,400. She's saved $1,000. So she's short $1,400. So that's how I got this. To accomplish that goal in 12 months, she'll need to save, you take the $1,400, divide it by 12, and you will see that she will need to save $116.67 per month. She will have to increase her savings $116.67 per month to accumulate the original $2,400 by the end of the year. So she's going to have to up her savings a little bit because she is short right now. So she needs to revise her plan. You could take several steps to help you make better spending decisions. Let's look at a few things that affect our spending habits and then cover some strategies to help make better spending decisions. Factors that affect spending habits. Psychology, which is our thought process. Alicia's recent argument with her mom will impact spending decisions she makes soon. Prior to the argument, Alicia intended to live at home and attend college. Now she's thinking about moving out of the house. This decision will have a big impact on her spending. Peer pressure is keeping up with the neighbors, keeping up with our friends. Okay, and this can cause poor financial decisions. So you're trying to buy what all your friends or neighbors have. Peer pressure often keeps people living paycheck to paycheck as a scramble to make their monthly payments because they're trying to buy and keep up with what everybody else is doing. Retail therapy is spending money to create happiness. Some people, this becomes addictive. They continue to buy things they don't need just to feel the pleasure from purchasing something. Some strategies for smart spending is postpone a purchase. When you think you really need something, wait a day or so or a week or so and see if you really want it after that. Avoid impulse buying. Impulse buying, again, is buying goods without planning to do so in advance, especially for big products. If you're going to impulse buy a candy bar or a can of pop, that's not a big deal, but larger purchase, you need to avoid impulse buying. Using coupons, and a coupon is a way that a manufacturer is trying to get you to buy a product. And sometimes coupons help if you already had planned on buying that product. And research the product or service on the internet. Check out several places and see if it is something that you really want. Summary: financial decisions and planning start with questions about cash flows. Decisions about cash inflow and outflow affect each component of your financial plan. There are 6 steps that we went through for making financial decisions and creating your financial plan. First of all, you need to establish your goals, evaluate your current financial position, identify and evaluate the options for reaching your goals, pick the best plan, evaluate your plan periodically, and revise your plan as necessary. Psychology affects our spending. Make sure you understand the factors that drive your buying decisions. Begin to adopt smart spending strategies that will help you save money in the long run.